Boats! Brisbane Yamaha knows boats.
Hi, I'm Aaron, the owner of Brisbane Yamaha, and one of me little beauties, a 420 Busta. Now, a 420 Busta come about, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. And you know, we used to sell them at $7,990. They used to have a 32 stroke on them. And we sold them like hotcakes. I'd have them stacked up 50 at a time. Well, have a look at this new one, because it is a massive boat. Now, the big difference, come up here, Dan. They'll still go on a trailer that's 750, so you don't need brakes. Very easy. But the thing about a Busta over every other little tinnie you'll get, and it's not a little tinnie, it's a massive tinnie, is this blade hull. It's chalk and cheese. It's the reason why Qintrex is the leading pressed alloy manufacturer in the Southern Hemisphere. It is the biggest boat company in Australia, and it's because of that hull. Sharp, it cuts through the water. The boat rides on confused water, and it's soft and it cushions off. 3mm bottom, 3mm plate. Now, we're gonna go on the water, have a look over the top, because it is a massive boat for a 420, and any other manufacturer would probably call it a 450, the beam. Rated to a 50, 4 people. Now, Andrew, come over here, and what we'll do is we'll just put the tape measure on it, because just to show. And what we're going to do is we'll go back to the boarding, to the platform. Right, come back here, because that's how other people would measure the boat. It's nearly 4'6" from there. Now come to the back of the boat. Go and look at that. Right, for all you people, they've measured the boat. Well, there's still a platform back there, 4'3", 4'4". So, and then just let's do the beam straight over the top. We'll go under the motor too. Now in the water, you got 1830 up, beam in front of these handles. What do we got? Holy crackers, that is a big boat for a 420, isn't it? Nearly 2 meters 80. Wow. Swart seats, storage, but that's all good because we'll see you at the boat ramp. So here we are in the 420 Busta with a 50. And straight up, I'd probably put a 40 on it. Right, you don't need all that power of the 50, but anyway, here we are. Dan, just show them around these mangroves. Here we are in Northern Territory. We've come up here barra fishing. We've towed the boat from Brisbane, and this is the sort of perfect boat you'd want. Something that's easy, you know, 3 blokes. Side pockets, good floor, casting deck, all of our safety gear, Dan's filming stuff, all put away. You know, anchor up here, nav lights, bilge pump, bimini to come over, which I've taken up. Perfect boat for this environment. And of course, with a 50, it's a Yamaha, so it'd just work. Trim on your thumb, I think you can see it. And we've got the idle up and down, which we've seen before on the Yamaha tiller. Idle down, you know, just for when you want to go slower and slower. Say you're chasing flat trout, or maybe we're looking for some barra and we're just we're towing a big bib lure and it's banging around, you know. And of course, as soon as you get there's some bait fish going in there. I can see some bait fish, and that opening of that little creek. Show that, Dan. See if you can spin it around and show that little creek there. That's the sort of little creek that would be holding the barra. They'd be sitting in the shadows. And believe me, if you can't cast underneath there, you know, up into there, underneath under there, right to the back, flick one up under there, you know, you won't be catching fish. Oh, what are you doing? Look, Andrew's thought he's skipper for a second. Let's not do that again, Andrew. Do you see that? That's why you only have one boss. Nearly killed me. But because it's a good boat, we're not dead. I've hit bottom. Power trim. It's all good. Because as you all know, when you own a boat, the only thing that's going to happen is the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Now, and there's a good lesson there. If someone's standing up you would never rev the motor because you're going to fall over. And if I didn't have reflexes like a cat, I'd be in. Now, you can see these big estuaries here. You could be trawling and so you'd want to go slow and use that trawl function. Or maybe you just want to cover some distance. And when you want to cover distance, 3 big blokes, Quintrex with their Millennium hull. So 1, 2, 3, we're going. You can see that the front's up, 3 seconds, and we're on. I'll give it a little bit of trim. And with 3 blokes, 47 kilometres an hour. And I've trimmed out 50 kilometres an hour. Now, I'm slowing down. Oh, you can see. I'll move it around, trim it down. Right, slow up. Now, the interesting thing with the 50, and this is the reason why I would buy the 50. When it was just Dan and I, it still did exactly the same maximum speed and performed exactly the same with 2 people as with 3. And I suppose that's that adage, there's no compromise or no excuse for cubic inch. And so the 50, which is a 60 really, is an awesome motor. One of the most famous motors that have ever been made, the 60 Yamaha, and the 50's the same with the reliability. I was in Daintree, I saw one with 8,000 hours in the Daintree. 8,000 on one of them croc tours. That's like a car with 10 million or something kilometres. It's that connection we have. Get your hands off it, do you see him? Now he tried to get me again, I think it's a setup. Now, let's have a look. We'll turn back there and we'll come in here. You know, Captain Galoptic, they call me. Have a look at the space in here. You know, rods, I'd have some rod storage there. We can sneak in. You saw me before, I hit ground, but that's all right, who cares? I don't care. You know, second-hand boat out fishing, and you'd come in here and you'd flick right to the back because the barra during the day sit in the shadows. They ambush depending on the tide. You know, it's high tide, so they're all up into the shallows, eating grubs and birds and fish and anything they can find. As the tide comes out, all the little fish are being swept out of those estuaries and the big barras sit out there. So I'd be casting up. So on this 420 Busta, you've got the 50, and the 50's got the Yamaha multi-function tiller handle. And what that means is, you can see here, Dan, trim up and down here. Back here's the up and down on idle where we're going to go over, forward and reverse. Down here, 2 lights. Whether you pick up a plastic bag and it overheats, or oil. I've never seen oil, they just don't use oil. You know, I don't know if you've got a Toyota car, they don't use oil either. And Yamaha and Toyota have got a tie-up. They both own like 17% of each other, right? That's why Toyota's so good. To start it, it'll just start. They start every time on a key. Now, watch this. So, I put it in gear and it's just in idle, there's no throttle, right? And I'm thinking I've got some lines out and I'm fishing for flathead or trout, or I've got a big bib lure banging around and I want it down low. So we just push the down function. You can hear that motor going down by 50 RPM at a time. Down it goes and it's just creeping along. Fishing for trout, I always said, you know, walking speed. And flathead's the same, slow. But then let's say we're fishing for mackerel and we want to speed it up. See me hitting that little button? Hear that motor? I know it's a Yamaha, you can hardly hear it. And now we're going about 3 times the speed. Now, click it out of gear, click it back into gear, take off. And I don't want to knock everyone off their feet. And we're back on, trim and tilt, easy, ergonomic. If you're old like me, you don't want them little short tiller handles anymore. Something is ergonomic. Under here, you can see we've got the little friction plate here, and that just stops the motor swinging around wildly. There it is, and you can just lock it off. When I'm by myself, sometimes I just walk around the boat, and once again, oh, we want to go slower. and you want to see your rod tip banging. Boom, 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 boom. That just shows you that you've got the action of the lure. Boom, boom, boom. And the minute your rod tip might just sit like that, that just means you've got weed on it and you need to pull it in. That's a free fishing tip. There you go. I've spent hours trawling. It can drive you insane. But anyway, and then we'll speed up, because I don't like going that slow. I'd rather put a little hard bodied or something and speed up. Bit of Yamaha power. Woohoo! And there's a sea eagle, beautiful sort of bird. I'd be casting up there and bam, on you go. Whoa! And so, we trim him down. I tried to take off with it, trim dried up. It wasn't gonna work. Up we get, and we'll see if we're faster than this eagle. Trim it out. Well, we are faster than that eagle. And isn't it good where the drone can stay with us? Woohoo! Look at this. We'll do a bit of, we'll come in here. Whoa! Scare every bit of fish that we'd want to catch. Hang on, fellas. We'll drop Mr. Crab Pot, so we'll do a turn. Mind you, that's a turn at 40 kilometres, 45 kilometres an hour. Give that a go in your tinny. If it's a Quintrex, you're right. If it's not, you probably want to warn everyone. Woohoo! Yamaha power. And over that little bit of chop that I just made, which is nothing. Boom, boom, boom. Let's just look at a real case scenario. We're coming up. Andrew's gone to pull crab pot up. So what do? We all run to the side to look what you've got. So you've got 3 people on one side of your tinny. Right, pulling up a crab pot. Woohoo! That's just because you need to know. You know, I'm 120 kilo. Andrew looks fit. He's probably, how much are you? 85. He doesn't even work out, doesn't exercise, eats whatever he wants. He's one of them people, you know? Doesn't get fat, but he's got dodgy knees. And Dan, well, who knows how big he is, you know? Up here, throwing cast nets, and of course casting. Absolute piece of cake. Stand up, Andrew. Stand up, go over here and like you're gonna fish. You know, if we went fishing, Dan would probably be playing some video game on fishing. Move around. You know, I'm over here, oh look at that, oh you're on over there. She's a good little boat. So, if you're looking for a little tinny, take up north, and of course we're not up north, we're in the Caboolture River, but if you want to go up north in a tinny, catch some barra, Saratoga, whatever you want, you should look at Qintrex because of the blade hull. And if you're looking at Qintrex, you should go to the home of Qintrex, Brisbane Yamaha, 3888 1727 or brisbaneyamaha.com.au. And if you're looking for parts, yamahaparts.au. Whole new website I've got, every part you've ever wanted. And I hope I see you on the water, catching barra in a 420 Buster.